defense was absolutely phenomenal. I think Wes Morgan played great. Their back line was in tune, and look, they didn't play like that Chelsea Barcelona game a couple of years ago where they were just bringing it back all in the box, 10 or 11, all 11 in the box. No, they were counterattacking every single time they had the ball. And on those 50-50 balls again, all Jamaica. So look, on one hand, what it means for Jamaica is they're going to the final. On the other hand, USA, um, a lot of questions. And it's interesting the timing of Brad Guzan's play because Tim Howard, of course, um, has now announced that he wants to be back on the team. He's 36 years old. He requested a year off after the World Cup, which is fine. I think that a man of his nature he's played in three World Cups already, um, if I'm not mistaken. So at least I remember the last two, 2010 and 2014. And of course, Guzan has been the goalie the last year. So do I think that Guzan's poor play may have contributed? May have been. There's a reason why that was the case. Hmm. I'm not sure, honestly. I really am not. Um, but for Tim Howard, look, I mean, if he comes back, I think this is a player that can play in the next World Cup. Brad Friedel played late in his career for the United States. Casey Keller played late in his career. So again, I don't think that Brad Guzan's the answer. I'll be honest. And like goalies, usually they age better. It's like fine wine. As they get older, they age better. It's not like field players where they break down, maybe post 34, 34, 35. Yeah, that's right. So again, just looking up to make sure, he did back up Casey Keller in 2006 World Cup. Was a starting goalkeeper in 2010, and of course in 2014. Remember the phenomenal game against Belgium? If you haven't watched that game, United States Belgium, Tim Howard, 16 saves, a world record, a record in the World Cup, 4 saves in a game, and kept them in the game against an attacking Belgian team who has a lot of world class players. Again, so for Guzan, what does that mean? I don't know. Do I think that he may be in a reduced role following this game? Potentially. I'd like to see Tim Howard what he has left, if anything. If he does have something left, I mean, he plays for Everton, a club that he's played with for 8 years now. So he's played in England for over 10 years, so he's not a scrub. I do think he's one of the top 10 goalies in the world. Um, Fred Guzan, not so much. So we're going to switch over for USA Jamaica. Again, a lot of questions for USA. I just don't think, um, and just to finalize my thought on the US, I think there's a lot of improvements that can be made, especially in the defensive end. Alvarado did not play well at all. I thought Beckerman was subpar. Zardes, his balls were not great. The subs off the bench were phenomenal. I thought that definitely brought a spark late. There was Diskerud, Alan Gordon from the Galaxy, DeAndre Yedlin, now plays at Tottenham. Speaking of which, Tottenham's playing the MLS All Stars next week on the 28th in Colorado, so that should be pretty interesting to watch. So you got to check that out. It should be on ESPN or one of the ESPN networks. So moving on from that game, to Panama Mexico, that was a game that if you watched it, it was chippy from, I'd say, from about the 25th minute on. Panama was reduced down to 10 men when Luis Tejada drew a red card. Um, and then after that, it just was not pretty for both sides. And what made it, and Panama just, honestly, after that red card, look, they scored a goal, and you thought, look, Panama, they are a team that deserved to get to the final. They have phenomenal talent. Um, I thought Pinedo, their goalie who plays for the Galaxy, played a phenomenal game. Roman Torres, who scored the goal, great. But then, that controversial call was made. Mexico, it seems that they get very lucky on these late calls. If you watch the game against Costa Rica, um, there was a foul in the box. Um, Again, from the referee's angle, I didn't think it was a foul in the 122nd minute. 122nd minute. Are you kidding me? I mean, look, I don't think you call that, and that was a questionable call. And Andres Guardado nails a PK to beat Costa Rica in the quarterfinals. And then what happens with Torres? They get in a scuffle on the ball. Torres falls on it. He doesn't put his hands on it. If you watch the replay, he tries to move his hands away. And again, it's just the nature of which in which he falls on the ball, and in that case, it draws a PK. Um, Obviously, Panama's infuriated, and then Guardado nails a PK 1-1 in the 88th minute. And the game was delayed for a little while because there was a lot of yelling and screaming on the Panama side. And honestly, they had a point. Mexico did not deserve the PK. And then to make matters worse, they get a second PK in extra time. Um, Guardado nails another PK. Is Oprah the referee? Is it just PKs for everybody in Mexico now? Honestly, look, Mexico doesn't deserve to be in the final. Um, Now, on Panama's end, I do feel bad for them, but I don't like the way that they reacted post game. You saw the players ready to run at the referee, and they did post game. That's just not professional whatsoever. I just thought that was awful. That was immature on so many levels, and the fact that they posted on social media, um, terrible refereeing, and they had a banner. I saw it. You check it out on. I think it was on Bleacher Report that the first um, showed that on their social media feed. Come on, Panama. I have a lot of respect for you. Obviously, being half Panamanian, I was rooting for you guys. Um, but you know, and I felt bad, and I still feel bad. But that's not the way to handle it. What makes matters worse in this entire situation is CONCACAF says that they're going to investigate this issue. Really? With everything that's gone on in FIFA the last couple months, CONCACAF investigating into what went on. What are you gonna investigate, huh? I mean, look, the referee made two terrible calls. Mexico's gotten three of the luckiest calls to get to the finals, to get to the Gold Cup final. They're playing a Jamaica team that I'm rooting for Jamaica at the end of the day, and I think a lot of people should. I think Jamaica's a great team. Jamaica hasn't made a World Cup since 1998, and I think this may be the year that they can come back and go back to the World Cup and do it. Now the finals in Philadelphia, so I have a couple friends that already bought tickets, assuming that it'd be the USA in the final, and it was funny seeing their post on social media saying, "Oh, what am I going to do with these tickets now?" It goes to show you that a shouldn't buy tickets and assume what teams are going to be there, because again, never say never, especially at this point. Um, but hey, I would check it out though. I think that's going to be a really good final. I think Jamaica's forwards are very athletic. They are relentless. Their midfield is absolutely great in the air, and that's going to be a big test for Mexico. Um, my pick overall, I think Jamaica is going to win. I think when you beat a team like United States that has a lot of talent, did underachieve, but still has a lot of talent, that is going to carry over into the championship against a Mexico team that's needed calls. To be quite honest, has needed several calls to get to the finals. I just don't think that is in any way, shape, or form going to carry them in. Would I be surprised if they did get a couple calls at the end of the day? Probably not. I shouldn't be. Look, at this point, again, I've said it time and time again. I think FIFA is just permanently rigged. If especially since these scandals have come out, FIFA's totally rigged. And until Sepp Blatter comes out, um, I think it's still going to be rigged. One of the funniest things, though, that occurred during the week, and that was absolutely hysterical. Comedian Simon Brodkin, and he's just a British comedian, which is again, the British have pretty good humor if you ask me. You've got to watch the video of what he did. Um, if you don't want to watch it, I'll tell you. What he did was announce that the 2026 World Cup was given to North Korea, and then through all the money, again, I believe it's paper money. I'm assuming it's not real money. Paper money in Sepp Blatter's face, which is absolutely fantastic. The fact that he has the fortitude to do that, that was absolutely awesome. Now, of course, is Blatter going, or is Brockton going to be charged? Yes. He was arrested for trespassing. And again, it was just really funny. Again, you need to watch it. I think it was great. Again, first of all, North Korea never getting a World Cup, obviously. Not even 10 years from now. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. And again, just throwing money in Sepp Blatter's face, that image, if you look at it, just type in Sepp Blatter money. Type in that image, that is exactly what FIFA is at this point. It is. That is the image of FIFA. Until Blatter is out, that is it. And the fact that he said that he's going to be in office until the next election, come on. That's obviously, that's not an organization that you trust. They make the NCAA look clean, okay? They make the NCAA look like an okay organization to be a part of. And that's saying something. And I've bashed both. Really, I've bashed both as hard as I can. And man, I would much rather work for the NCAA than work for FIFA right now. It's just terrible. But anyway, I'm going to take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to give you the all-time starting 11 for soccer, all-time. Position by position, how it goes. I have some tweaks for it. I read the article on foxsports.com. But like I said, I have my personal tweaks. So, of course, we are going to continue with more Earth, Wind, and Fire, as we should. So, and this is their live version of Reasons on the Spicy Sports Show with Sam Cerrone on Spreaker Radio.
How about that? Is that all right? Hey, bring me a stool. Bring me a stool. We're going to do this right quick. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. You got to help me out with something. sit right here on A&E.